Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some more Fire Emblem Warriors DLC. This time, we're not going to be looking at a DLC character, but instead, a character from the original roster that has received a substantial update, and this is going to be Caeda. Yes, that's right, we're finally going to be pronouncing her name properly. Caeda is an absolutely fantastic unit thanks to the previous DLC. One thing that makes her so amazing is just due to the fact that she gets her own unique weapon, and that unique weapon is probably one of the best out of the entire roster, so we're going to have a quick look at that right now. Before we do though, let's have a look at the unit herself. Now, Caeda, earlier when we looked at her, I wasn't that impressed with her stats due to the fact that her magic and strength were not nearly as high as either Cordelia or Hinoka. As well, having high speed, while useful in the sense that you get yourself more duration on your awakening gauge, it wouldn't mean that much in the grand scheme of things. However, due to the fact that it's a lot easier to get awakening this time around, thanks to the DLC, and the new Statflip weapon attribute, she's going to be pulling off some impressive damage. If you give her Statflip and Topsy-Turvy, you're going to be giving her high magic damage, 141 magic at 102. Really useful stuff. As well, her luck stat is the highest out of all of them, and as we know now, Luna and Luck are actually a substantial boost to a unit's overall damage, so this is definitely something you'll want to look at. Not to mention that Lethality will give her some of the strongest critical hits in the game because of how easily she can proc Lethality. So, looking at her weapon, we're actually going to see that right now. It is, like I said earlier, probably the best unique weapon for any character ever because of Rampager. Rampager, for those of you guys that don't know, gives bonus damage to both mounted units and armored units, all for the price of one slot, meaning you can potentially have 3 Slayer attributes on a single weapon. It's really powerful. So for the actual weapon attribute build, it's going to be, like I said earlier, Statflip and Topsy-Turvy. Critical Focus, the new one that we got from the new DLC pack, is quite nice because now you can just focus on using auto attacks to break gauges, and thanks to the fact that she is a Pegasus Knight, she has a long range stun gauge activator, so you can really consistently do some damage just by mashing the regular attack button. So Rainstorm and Critical Focus are a very potent combination. As well, for just some of that extra damage, we're going to be getting Fury Builder. Fury Builder, for those of you guys that know, for every 100 KO that you get a increase in overall damage, so that's definitely something we want to look forward to, considering that as a flyer, it's quite easy to obtain 100 at a regular interval. I've also had Lancebreaker. Feel free to change that with something else. If you want, you can try Armor Strike. This is pretty much like the free slot. If you want, you can try to give her an Axe Breaker instead, just because she is weak to axe users. I've decided to give her a Lancebreaker due to the fact that I know that flyers tend to be resistant to magic, so we're going to be trying to upend that through using our weapon attribute. So yeah, I think that should basically be about it. Because she's a flyer, she can use healing. I used the Great Festal. Great Festal is probably the best healing just because it has a large amount over a long distance, so I don't use them personally that much, but it is just a nice option to have if you ever run into any complications. So yeah, Caeda is probably the best flyer right now, or at least the best Pegasus Knight right now. There's competition between her and Minerva for who's the best flyer, but yeah, very powerful unit overall, and I'm really happy that this new DLC has breathed new life into the original roster. So let's just go ahead and get this map going. For those of you guys that have seen my Pegasus Knight showcase video several months back, this is actually the same stage, so we kind of come full circle. This particular one, though, is, I believe, a level 100 difficulty map where you can get the Sol Cati Opus. So, as you guys know, I've given her a Lone Wolf because she's going to be doing just fine on her own. The running strong attack for the Pegasus Knights isn't that amazing, but that's okay, you don't have to spam it that much. What I would prefer to do is just use your use your combo 4, the one where you throw those glowing javelins, and that would be a substantial amount of damage all on its own, but even if it doesn't fully kill them, it gives you a chance to juggle your enemies. Juggling enemies makes it a lot easier to break stun gauges. I'll just mention that the running light attack, or the running regular attack, is also quite potent, but unfortunately this guy over here is resistant to magic. So here we go. So that didn't kill, we can catch them as he's falling, and that's going to be a critical strike. The nice thing about the Pegasus Knights is that their attacks actually track quite well, and due to the fact that they are a mounted unit, they can run around the map very easily. Okay, so I guess what we can do is we actually have a decent amount of damage from the Lone Wolf, so we'll just go ahead and do this. Well, one unfortunate thing, you guys notice that I'm using the bride outfit for Caeda. Unfortunately, the bride outfit does not show Hinoka and Cordelia for her awakening gauge. It's a little unfortunate, but that is something that's happened. Okay, so this one's a recruit mission, actually. I forgot to look that up. Yeah, it is a recruit mission, and the nice thing about recruit missions is that we get to draw this out a little bit longer, so you guys can actually see what Caeda is capable of without me burning through everything and killing everything instantly with her absurd damage. Like, look at that. That wasn't even a combo that I did. Like, of course, these guys have low resistance, so it would do a little bit more damage to them. But man, let's like, and considering it's AOE as well. Okay, so that was on a block. Really, really impressive stuff. Like, we could just get away with doing attacks. Her combos are fairly decent, but the problem is, though, is it's actually quite easy for most of these attacks to, it's quite possible for your targets to fall out of those combos, so it might actually be better to just spam away with Rainstorm. And considering how powerful her unique weapon is, like, you know, that actually isn't that bad. Okay, so yeah, that's one thing though, like against axe users like this, if I had an axe breaker, I'm wondering if I'd even do substantially more damage with a running strong attack. Unfortunately, you shouldn't spam that nearly as much as, say, Camilla, for example, but the running regular attacks though are very, very useful, because they can zero in on your enemy. I think Armored Blow might be another thing that you might want to consider, just due to the fact that you wouldn't want her to be interrupted during her lengthy combos. Yeah, just do this, see how many people we can catch. You know what I should have done? I should have actually used the warrior special from behind. I think that would have caught more people. Alright, so I guess we might as well just head to the objective. Lind is going to get the Sage. Okay, let's wait for the attack, and then run in. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like other combos that she has that are particularly useful, but I feel like her combo 4 is the most useful for this particular build, due to the fact that it exposes the stun gauge, like so. And even if it doesn't outright kill them, it'll still leave them open for a juggle. Okay, so while that's going on, I might as well just clear out any of the other fortresses that are around. Wait, is that our allied base? Yeah, okay, this is our allied base that's under attack, so I might as well get that right now. So yeah, that's the nice thing about having a mounted unit, just the fact that you can learn things on the fly. That's why I would recommend kind of using these kinds of characters as early as you can, if you're able to. Just look at the damage that she can do, really. Like, that Luna really, really comes to benefit her. Not to mention, like, these mana kits, they also have some really, really high stats, so they're going to be a little bit difficult to take down. And it appears that Wyvern Rider has died. The one thing I also like to do for these kinds of maps is to have a very tanky unit such as Xander or Frederick sort of just hold camp. We'll actually have Frederick do that right now, because why not? Okay, here comes the Dark Mage. Is he going to do anything? Okay, I'm going to do a combo 4. Combo 4 to create a stun gauge. And then just kind of spam away at the regular attack. Her regular attacks track very, very nicely, so don't be afraid if it seems that they're spinning out of the way. Just continue spamming that attack, and you will be able to catch them on the descent. Okay, so I think our objective is doing fine. I'm going to grab this fortress before I join up with Lind again. So again, do that combo 4. That's 3 regular attacks and a strong attack. You'll know you did it right if you see the golden javelins come out. Yeah, this is like it's one of her most useful attacks overall if you're looking for single target damage. The combo 5 is quite nice if you can get large groups, but it goes in a forward motion. And if it goes in a forward motion, then anyone behind might still be able to sneak up on you and do some damage. Just do a special. This is totally overkill considering how much damage she does, but she's just really, really good. Okay, so Lind is going to go ahead and do stuff. While she's going there, I might as well go here. Yeah, her running attack might not be as fast as Minerva and Camilla's, but it's still usable. Like, it's still plenty usable if you just want to get large amounts of KOs for your S rank condition. Right now we're at 1606, so we need, let's see, 394 if you want to actually seal the deal for that S rank. Okay, so is there any movements I should be aware of, Lind? Guess not. I feel like she's going to be okay. I'm gonna quickly just mess around in this direction. I'm gonna mess around on this fortress because I don't want this one to fall. Okay. Also, we might as well heal someone. Like, we never do healing here on the channel. We might as well do that too. Yeah, if you see like that white smoke appear around them, you know they're going to do their attack. This is pretty beginner stuff, but it is important to be reminded that, especially in these level 100 difficulty maps, they can do insane amounts of damage. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be Minerva. And there is someone summoning scout troops. Wait, I could just go around here. Alrighty. So I'm just trying to think of what else we can do. Really, like, pretty much everything is secure. I've said this many times before, I might as well repeat for those of you guys that are watching these videos for the first time. My order of priorities for getting my maps will be to go for the captains first. Like, things like these summoners, for example, these captains, I would go for them first. And then after that, I would go for fortresses, since that would give me a hold over the map. Because the thing is, though, if I don't get rid of the captains first, and if I go straight for the fortresses, those captains will go to the fortresses and then take them. And I don't want that. I'm just wasting time. So you have to go to the captains first. And of course, if there is like a pressing concern, like if there's like that summoner from just now, then I should focus on going to them. Thankfully, it's easier to do that if you're a flyer, just due to the fact that you can fly over everything, or you can get there in record time. Let's do a warrior special. I'm wondering if there's a Velazark right now. Like, I feel that most of these maps tend to have a Velazark, and if there is, I would like very much to save my Awakening Gauge for them. Okay, we need, let's see, about 167 more KOs to seal the deal. Which shouldn't be that bad. You see over there on the map, like, just below the upper right corner, that little patch of red. I'm gonna start spamming running strong attacks with this one. Again, it might not be as fast, but if we're just trying to get some KOs without very much effort, this is a good way of doing it. Also, it looks hilarious. Look at the Pegasus when it does it too. Like, you can also change the direction midway through your fall. It's really silly. Goodness, Pegasus Knights and Warrior games. The combination, the dream team, as it were. Need 24 more. And I think that should be okay. So all that's left right now is just for us to go to Minerva, as long as Lynn's able to reach it. Oh my goodness, is she still behind? See, it would be nice if these kinds of objectives would allow you to carry them yourself, because, you know, you're on a Pegasus Knight, you might as well drive them around. Alright, come on, Lynn, you can do it. Let's see. Is there anything else around here that I can collect? That's something that I've always overlooked doing, but it's something that people should totally consider doing when they're playing this game, is that whenever you get a fortress, this, like, you know, this should be super obvious, but I forget it all the time. If you see a blue jar, and you want Awakening Gauge, like, you know, for me, I don't need Awakening Gauge right now because it's full up, then feel free to break those open, because you're never going to come back to it ever again. Okay, so here's the outpost captain. Outpost is now mine, and they will now begin to converse. Here we go. You know what? Even if there's no... Even though there is no Hinoka or Cordelia summoning from this costume, it's such a missed opportunity. Like, I would have loved it. It's just like, just for a brief second, have Hinoka and Cordelia wearing the bride outfits, but then I think people would complain that why don't they get that outfit then? But that's okay. Okay, so I guess that's gonna be done. We're gonna go ahead and fight against Camilla. The fortress on the bottom right is so far away, I don't want to bother getting that one. Like, yeah, so I'm not gonna worry about that. What I will worry about, though, is going straight to the allied base. Sorry, the enemy base. I don't think there's a Velazark for this particular stage, so do you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna burn Awakening Gauge. So here we go. Like, if you wanted, you could actually just stick around and fight against these strong enemies too, but for me right now it's a little bit time consuming. I might as well just go get the win condition, and that's beating this enemy captain. Come on. Like, this is all very heartwarming, but I'd like to I'd like to kill Camilla if that's okay. Like, is that really so hard? Here we go. So right when we're ready. There we go. And do some Awakening Gauge. Like, a combo of 5, like 4 regulars and a strong attack would be able to break it really, really quickly. But I also have critical focus, so like it would have broken really quickly anyway. Not to mention that if you have Awakening Gauge, you have the yellow gauges, which are much easier to break. And like I said, like I predicted, there would be no Velazark. Wow. It's so strong, because I know that seems really fast, but there was a lot that went on in there. The lethality procs depending on how high your luck is, and Caeda has one of the highest luck stats in the game, so she benefits from that greatly. Luck is, for all intents and purposes, an offensive-based stat. It's really, really good. So for people that are starting out with this game, and you see that you have a character with high luck, then there's a pretty good indication that they're going to be really strong later on if you give them Luna and lethality. It also really does help to give the luck plus 20 from Celica, so just keep that in mind too. But yeah, that is Caeda. Caeda is so good now. She is one of the best units right now. It's really, really, really nice to see that we can get older characters and update them through new DLC packs, and I cannot wait to show you guys what else is just over the horizon for all the other ones that were addressed, particularly Anna, Celica, and Tiki, so I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Anyways guys, thanks very, very much for joining me on the Caeda Showcase. Have fun with this one. This is really, really cool. There's plenty of room for experimentation for the Winged Spear, because it's just that good a weapon. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.